Hey everybody, how you doing? It is happy Monday. Jeez, I can't believe it's Monday already. And I didn't expect a ton of people to be on today because I just literally published that I was going to go live the late last night. So um, I'm talking about a newer product that I had initially returned, and I was not really happy with it. To be honest with you, it just wasn't the right fit for me. I didn't really dislike the product. I had a different need, and that need really entailed me just needing lights in my scene, kind of like the two lights that I've got up here. These are Aperture MT Pros. I've got a couple more back there, but it's not that I've got Aperture in a lot of my setup here, but if you look at it, we're going to switch over to my link here, you can see that, and if the audio changes because it's on, I switched to my lavalier mic, but you can see these two lights, this one here and that one there, those are newer RGB ones. And then through the magic and I've also got some lights down here, those are also RGB ones. So they're kind of hidden away. Now, originally they weren't. Originally they were in frame, and so they needed to be nice and diffused. That was the problem back then. So let me, and also I've got a couple of TL60s. You can see them right here. One is for my hair light, which you can see is right here, and the hair light is on. If I turn it off, you can see, go away. Come on, there we go. See, my hair has less of a glow on it, and if I turn it back on, it's there. Now, my hair light also is set to 25%, so if I wanted it to be more dramatic, I could crank that up, and you can see, especially up around here. I just tend, when I go over to this scene, the top-down view, you can see this part of my head. I can't see it normally, so it doesn't bother me when I'm looking at myself in the camera, but it obviously when I see that, I'm like, oh gosh, I should wear a hat when I do these lives, or at least from the top down. But you can see up here, I've also got a couple of newer, these are the TL60s. These are LED tubes, and I can zoom in on them here, and you can see I've got one in a soft box, and I've got another one just exposed. This, the one on the left, upper left, that is a that is the set light, so that's got a purple glow to it right now. And then the one that's got the soft box, the one in front here, is my hair light. So, but the rest of my scene that's in frame is going to be that you can actually see are the Aperture bulbs. And I just decided to go with Aperture because I like their ecosystem, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So I return the product, I return the light, and then I get it. I just forgot about it, right? And I said, well, this is not for me. And there's a bunch of reasons why it wasn't for me. First thing was, you could see the LEDs. You can see up here in these lights, for instance, they're nice and frosted. The diffusion plastic that's covering the LEDs evenly disperses the light, and so as a result, you don't get you don't see the lights, the individual LEDs, but you also don't get little hot spots along the walls and things that you're lighting. So I couldn't use it because of that, because you could see all the individual LEDs. The other thing was, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for something that I could put in frame. The other thing was that the purpose of the light is really to be like a wand light, something that's mounted to like a light stand, or it's mounted to something that's got the little light mounting nub on it. And so I just didn't have that. That wasn't what I was looking for. So I just returned it. And then I did a review of it. You know, Amazon asks you to do reviews and things like that. I finally said, okay, I'll write a review on this. And I think the title of the review was Not For Me. And I just said, I couldn't attest to the build quality, because I didn't keep it long, but the target demographic was not me. And so I thought, okay, well, this is going to be something that I just end up returning. And I did. I returned it. And then when I got the review in, Neewer actually reached out to me and said, hey, can you explain why you didn't like the light? And is there any way we can make it right? And I really wasn't, it's 6 months later. I really wasn't looking for anything from them. I just responded in an honest way. I just said I just didn't think that the light fit my needs at the time, and there were other lights that I could go with. And so I ended up returning it. And they said, well, how about if we send you one to take a look again on us? And I said, no strings attached? No strings attached. Just take a look, and if you want to let us know what you think, then great. And well, we hope that all of our customers like our products. And I've always been a big fan of Neewer. As a matter of fact, I've had not only do I have the lights, but I've got the teleprompter that I'm looking at right now. That teleprompter is a Neewer teleprompter, and Neewer spelled Neewer. I guess Newer was taken, or some legal issues with that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's pronounced Neewer. And so I just said, well, okay, cool. I'll take a look and I'll let you know. And so I got it yesterday, and like I said, I was going to do the live yesterday, but I was still coming down off of the Saints whooping up on the Cowboys, American football teams. And so I just said, nah, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I figured I didn't really have much scheduled for Monday anyway, so this is what I'm doing. All right, so that's enough of the backstory. So they sent me the product. I got it here, right? And it comes in this really cool padded carry bag. Let me switch over to my Osmo here, and audio is going to change again. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to move the mic out of the way. You can see this is the case, right? And let me take this all apart here. Yeah, let's see how this looks. Okay, so there's the light. And it's, kind of, the cushioning is just like a plasticized foam. I forget the name of this, but it's kind of like almost like packing foam. But this is the light, and let me pull it out here. Put that bag away, and you can see this. You can actually, with the light off, you can see the rows of LEDs, right? See that? And yeah, that was the part that kind of ticked me off, because you've got these huge gaps. And I know, it's a manufacturing thing. And this light is actually right now, it's like $65, something like that. Amazon has a $20 off coupon on this, and I'll put the link to it at the bottom of the description. But I was like, wow, I mean, you can't really, it's a video LED, so it won't flicker. You won't see any flicker in your cameras, even at low settings. So Neewer makes decent products, and this is like a brushed metal back, right? So this, this is not bad quality. So you've got 1/4-20 mount there, nothing up here. USB-C port. These look like some locator pins, and I'm assuming that's for the mount. And then on the back, you've also got, you can see here, this is like it's kind of gimmicky. The RGB1 lights have this too. It's a quick way to set up a light value. So if you're trying to get it like in the red range, you'd use your finger and you just kind of run it right there, and then the light would change to red. And then you might want to dial in a specific HSI value, but it's a good way to get there quickly. And let's see, and then they've got, like a dial control. It's almost like the old iPod, wheel in the center, and you got a button there, and then you've got a couple of power button, a pairing button for their software, and then a lock button. The lock button I use on all of these because it locks out this control, and which I never use, because almost always I will pick up the light, right, and I'll hit this and it changes the light color. And start throwing things. So this is not ideal for a lot of a lot of handling, I guess, is the best way to put it. So that's the light. And I'll put this over here. Well, yeah, I'll put it right here because I don't need the mouse at the moment. What else is in here? Typical, the instruction manual in probably a bajillion different languages. Yep, that's what it is. And then the app. And I've got the app running. You can actually see it right here on my iPad. I'll go to this full screen in a bit. But so this is probably the one area that I have the most of a problem with is the software, because when you invest in a light system, you are investing in an ecosystem if you're using any kind of software control whatsoever, because each company seems to have their own software app, and there's no standards, and unless you're running a bunch of DMX stuff, which most creators are not, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So this is a wand, and this is pretty solid. I've got a light stand over here that I'll put this on in a bit, but I'm pretty sure that that's where this thing plugs in. It looks like that's where it goes. So, come on. All right. So that's kind of nice. I mean, it gives you, if you're going to use it as a wand, if you're doing like, if you're doing something off camera and you want to have the light moving around, this wand is perfect because you don't have to hold it by here. You can hold it down here. And it also has a way to, if you loosen this, you can set the angle, right? So you can bend it. And that's fairly nice to have that. And also probably, and this is a testament to, good design. The USB-C port is still open here. So you can still charge even when this light is connected to this wand. And, and so when it's mounted, you can plug it in. And I guess, yeah, the last thing here. So manufacturers, please just switch over to, if you're going to do USB-C based charging, first of all, get some decent cables. Please supply decent cables, not crap. I know they're cheap and I know they're super easy to source, but inevitably what'll happen is one of these we'll get them, and then we'll try and do something other than charging that light, and they suck. They just suck. Also, just make them USB-C on both ends. It doesn't need to be USB-A to USB-C. This bit me in the butt yesterday, actually, when I was on the road and I was trying to plug in one of the Insta360 Link cameras, and all I had was this, and my laptop is USB-C only, so I didn't bring any adapter or anything like that. So let's just get rid of that old standard. It's dying a slow death because people are keeping it around. Okay, so let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. I will put the case away over here and bring this back. And so we'll go ahead and turn it on. I'm going to keep it aimed away from the camera on purpose. Okay, and this is set at 1%. So I'm going to slowly turn this because I don't want to, because what's going to happen here, you see those LEDs? See them? This is at 1%, gang. I mean, that's 1%. So there's nothing dimmer than this. The next stop is off. So there's no, you go from something, like if you're trying to fade something out, forget it. It's going to go from full on. This is 100. Oh wait, hang on. Up my, I just went and goofed up. All right, gotta set my GM back. Okay, and then intensity. There we go. So that's 100. And that's pretty darn bright. Now again, I'll turn it slowly here. I have a mist filter on. What you're looking at here is the DJI Osmo, the Pocket 3. So you can see, because the mist filter's on there, it's gonna put a pretty serious glow around this. But it's bright. I mean, it's really bright. Here, I'll switch back to me. And you can see, right? And you know, this is, look, if it's out of frame like this, it's fine. And this is one of the things that about this light. Look at that. I mean, that's just like, all LED lights are like this, but I love the fact that they get super bright. What I don't love is when it goes from that, and in camera here, what you see is this, right? This is a nice illuminated bar. I can see, again, I can see the LEDs, but you cannot, unless see if I get really close, you can see them. Anyway, but this is the lowest setting because the next one's that off. So just something to know, something to keep note of is if you're going to get one of these, there is no real like ramping down. And I know a lot of the cheaper bulbs have this issue, so it's not unique to Neewer. A lot of companies that make lights that are inexpensive, they will generally be this way. So I'm not going to fault Neewer for that, but at the same time, you should be aware of that. Some of the other settings that are on the back here. Go back over to my Osmo. Let's see. Some of the other settings you've got on here. So right now it's set to CCT mode. I can go in HSI, and as I was saying before, you see, that's interesting. The logo changed color to red. Oh, okay, I know why it's red. But you see if I drag it, oops, why is it not doing that? Oh, it's locked, that's why. So you see here, that's kind of interesting. You see the Neewer logo, in addition to the light changing color, so this is the logo. I mean, it's cute. I mean, I guess if you're trying to set a color and you're not looking, but I mean, you're kind of looking at what you're changing the color on anyway. But, okay, so this is 4%, right? And that's this value. So here's my hue. So if I go to 300, and then, yeah, so you can see if you go closer to the center, right, you can actually jump around. And you can, let's see here. That's the hue, that's the, saturation. So I guess you can't really set saturation. No, you can't. So saturation needs to be controlled with, whoops, I'll go back over here, with this, right? And so that's, now what color is that? Let's go set that hue, set it to red. Interesting. Okay, so when you touch that, this is another reason why I lock this stuff out. When you touch this, it gets off of saturation. So let's go set it to pure red. And pure red at 34% saturation, that's 10. So it should be trending towards white, which it is. It's kind of a, I wish I had something white that I could shine on. I don't have anything white in here. Got the keyboard, I guess. I can do that. Let's see. I mean, I can see it. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it's changing to pink, and it's slowly getting pure red. Okay. Well, there you go. You can see how this works. So this is at 100% saturation. So you've got that mode, and then you've got scenes. Now, scenes are like a lot of the other Neewer lights. The scenes have different like this is music, right? So let's see if I play some of my music here. You know what? It's not going to. Yeah, I don't have the speakers hooked up, but you can see as I'm talking, it's blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's cute, right? And then this is obviously the brightness, so you can get really crazy. Now, I would say that out of all of the newer bulbs that I've played around with, this one seems to be the most responsive and the most the brightest when it comes to music. Now, I haven't tested it with the app yet, so I'm not sure, but the app is supposed to have, like, you could use the computer music to control the light. But I mean, if you've got speakers playing in a disco or whatever, a rave or whatever it is people go to these days, you just turn this on to music and then boom, you're done, and it'll just cycle through the lights. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the on-off. Like maybe it would resort to pulsing or something like that, I guess. Let's see. Next scene. Okay, here we go. Wow. Okay, so there's all these scenes here. I think we know what this one is. Popo. This is supposed to be flames. And is it flickering at all? Yeah, kinda. So that's supposed to be flames. This is this just cycles through hues. So this is what I was saying, is that when there's no music going on, it would default back to this. That might be kind of fun. This is CCT. And this is just cycling through different color temperatures. This is integer values, so it's just going through 0 to 255. Let's see. This is watching TV. Right? So if I wanted to look like I'm watching, and we go back to this one here. If I wanted to make it look like I'm watching TV, right? Did it just switch? It did? See, this is why you lock that out. Okay, there we go. And that's on TV. So I could do something like that. If I have a TV playing in the background, I could be like, this is supposed to simulate that's the effect, right? Okay, sure. I never would use this, but it's kind of fun. Let's see. Fireworks. It's probably better if I keep it on this screen, because you've already seen me changing it. I don't look like fireworks to you. Maybe it's an interpretation. This is party mode, and this is just that, right? This is music. This is lightning. So I guess if you accompanied it with some sound effects, it would, be cool. And look, I know these videos exist out on YouTube all over the place, and probably other places on the internet. So I'm just going through this because I want to see how this thing performs overall. This looks like it's welding. This is supposed to be like I'm pretty sure this is a bulb. Yeah. So let's say I saw this in a scene once. Like if I'm looking in a mirror, right, and I'm kind of looking around, but I'm at a old bathroom or something, right? That's what it would look like, kind of like it's, yeah, right. So it's neat, but again, I'm I'm doing live presentations. I'm not making movies or anything along those lines. So this is bomb, and I will just get out of that. And let's see. This one is welding. I don't know what the other one was. Star effects. I'm not really sure what that is. These are just these are different lighting effects. That's what it is. And then this one is kind of cycling through. Right. That's like a pulsation. And then this is pulsing. I got it now. So this is pulsing a specific hue. That's what this is doing. So anyway, those are the scenes. And let me go ahead and I'll pair it up, and we'll see how this works on the app. So let's go over to the app here. And I'm going to go ahead and click add. And it found it immediately, which is pretty nice. And so I will select that and then do OK. And now it's been added. Okay, so this is the app, and it's down here. And I'll tap this. Oops, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so now, oh, and it's got a firmware update. You know what? Let's see what it does. Let's see how long it takes, or what firmware. The version, let's see, nodes, no. So current version 2134.221 optimizes packet loss problem, optimizes the knob reversal problem when charging. Okay, well, let's see what happens. So this is something that you probably should do with every single light that you get. Is once you get it installed, you're gonna where did my light go? Oh, I probably shut it off. Come on, I need this to be done. Update, please, so I can get my light back. I must have pushed the light button when we were talking. Come on. Please do not disconnect the Bluetooth. I thought I've seen it counting over 40% like a number of times. So what gives here? All right, so it's still gone. I mean, it's relatively fast, but updating the firmware is always a good idea because the light it may address one of the issues I have. We'll have to test the low intensity of it once we get this back up here. And that'll teach me to turn off that light. Whilst updating. I'm not gonna. Oh, that's interesting. Cancel update. Oh, that's weird. Okay. That actually, what happened there? Huh. Okay, so this is one of the issues I have. This software is not good. It's never been good, and this is one of the problems I have with Neewer. And actually, one of the things, guys, if anybody from Neewer's watching this, we're 33 minutes in. I'll remember this, and I'll tell you guys, if there's one thing that you could absolutely improve on to get a better experience for your customers, there's two things. Better user interface for your apps. It's terrible. The way you organize things and the way that you can adjust intensities and stuff like that. Terrible. Understanding what scenes are and how you store those things and recalling them, it's just not, I'm sorry, it's not that good. Let me explain here. I'm going to go to my screen share here. And yeah. So let me get rid of this guy. There we go. So this is the Amarin desktop app. Now, oops, sorry, I got two mics going here. So the Amarin desktop app is, I mean, just look at it. Look at it compared to this. I mean, even the iPhone app is better than this iPad app, which is actually the iPhone app running in the iPad. I don't understand why you can't have iPad apps, guys. Anyway, this is, so you look at the way that these things are organized. Let me see if I can zoom. I think I can zoom in and you'll see that. Oh no, I can't. What am I sharing here? Am I sharing the entire display? Yeah, I am. Weird. Okay. Well, in any case, this, let me see. I might be able to, can I zoom in this? I cannot. Zoom to app window. Okay, let's see if we, oops. Well, we can do this. No, we don't want to do that. Sorry, this is called doing it live. And actually, I don't need this whole user interface here. So let us use the magic of Ecamm to crop things down. That way I can hopefully blow it up. Yep. So you see now, see the way that things are organized here? You've got all of your devices, and you can see I've got quite a few. Color temperature, if you've got an HSI value that you want to plug in, right? If you want to do RGB, you can do RGB. It's pretty simple to do that. You've got colors, like, so they actually set up certain colors for you that you can just pick, and this one's called natural, and then you've got emotional, and I think the purpose of the Amarin app versus their Sidus Link app. Sidus Link is designed for professionals. The Amarin desktop app is designed mainly for what they call the creator group, the creator bunch, the folks that don't want to, dink around with all the DMX settings and setting up fancy scenes and stuff like that. But it does have shortcuts, which are cool. This allows you to plug in like your, you know what I can do though? I can turn on my cursor. There we go. Cursor Pro. There we go. So now you can see where I am. And so now you can see like the scenes down here. So if I want to change these scenes, I can just tap on it and you'll see it updates everything, right? And now let me switch back to myself. So this is called Chasing Lights, and you can see the lights on the side, and then the lights, the MT Pros. If I go to the link view, see how the lights are all moving around. So I just did a quick recall of that scene. So I can do this. I'll go back to my purple blue, which is what I had it set to. And then all of the special effects are all adjustable here. See, the thing is here is that it's nice. It's not a lot of tabbed interfaces. There are tabs in here, but they're just, it's much more well organized. Amarin, don't get me wrong, this app has its problems. It crashes every day, every day. Fortunately, it doesn't take down your entire system with you. So it'll just render the control, useless. You can't control it from your desktop. They also include a Stream Deck plugin. So if you have, like I have here, this Stream Deck, if I go over here, I can see I've got my purple, blue, red, teal, chasing light. So I go back to that. I can press that. And it's supposed to recall them. This isn't, yeah, there we go. So now it's changing them over. And so again, back to me. And what I'll do now is I'll just hit what I was doing using the Stream Deck button. And you see it just sets it all back. So this is not going to be a demo on Amarin products. I can do that all day long. But my point is this, is that this guy in this department needs work, right? So just the software, I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, so same thing goes here. Let's go back to, we'll go to the iPad here. There we are. And so I've got CCT mode, I've got light source mode, I've got source match mode, and this would allow me to use my camera to pick a color for the light. CTOB, you've also got HSI, and you can see what that's doing to the light here. See what it's doing to me, but you can also see it down in the lower frame here. So, this is nice. You can just go in and dial in a very specific value. So if I wanted to say get orange going here, but I wanted that hue to be closer to what I like to call eCam hue, and that's somewhere around here. Okay. Can I type in? Yes. So I can type in a specific value. Done. Okay. So another thing with the app, most apps, when you are typing a name of something, it'll give you, you know how it is in iOS, right? Where you hit the space bar and it automatically turns on the caps key to capitalize the letter starting your new word. This doesn't do that. Matter of fact, it doesn't even do the first letter. So I thought that was a default in iOS, but being developed in another country where English is not the primary language, I can understand why that's an issue or why they do that, but I'm not happy about it. It's one more thing. Scene organization is kind of a pain. The RGB, you have RGB colors that you can plug in here. The picker, again, allows you to pick colors from wherever you are. So if I, let's see here, start again. Oh, I guess I have to aim it somewhere. Well, I'm not going to aim it anywhere because I'm sitting on my iPad here. So I'm not going to do that. And then you've got your special effects. So here, see, now this is nice because you can see all of the effects. And if I click on view all, I can see all of the effects here, right? So if I want to go back to cop car, right, I can do that. Now, let's say I had two of these. I could make one red and I can make the other one blue. But if for just the one, it'll cycle between red and blue. I don't know what this one is. Red, blue, white. Yeah, red, white, and blue. Feeling a bit patriotic. And then we had, let me go back to what I was looking at before. This fireworks. Lightning. Oh, paparazzi. That's the one that I got wrong. Okay, that's paparazzi. So I guess it's like, no, please, no pictures, please, please. Okay, something like that. Defective bulb we knew. And then, so, okay, CCT flash. That's what this is. And then there's a hue flash. And then the pulse for CCT. And then the hue pulse. So you can control this stuff from the app, even without the firmware and whatever it did to my system. It does work here, and it makes it a little bit easier to control this light. I usually don't use the controls on the back of the lights. I just don't. I mean, they're just, if it's mounted somewhere, then you're not going to reach it. I mean, I got all those lights back there that I'm controlling from my desktop here. I don't have to turn around once. Okay, so speaking of mounting, let me go over to my link here. And let's see, can you see? You can't because I'm zoomed in. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right, so hey, up there. So now well, actually I got it. There we go. Get that so I can slide it on. All right. So now I've got this on a light stand. And I can see I'm hitting the zebras sometimes with this thing. Zebra pattern. So I've got another iPad that's got my camera monitor on it. And matter of fact, if I go to Osmo here, you can see it. One of these days I'll do a studio tour. I just don't have it organized. I did this a little bit for Ecamm the other day in my demo, but you can see right up here, this is me looking into my teleprompter, which is right above here. So this is an iPad mini running Sony's camera control app and allows me to set my camera settings from here and see what this camera is doing. So I've got my light here, and right now it's just cycling here. So let's say one of the things I like to do, go back to my HSI here, is that, for instance, I want to emulate, like you see, let's go back behind me here. You see behind me, I've got a little bit of orange light going on. And usually what I try and do is, like, I have some windows right off to the side here. And I want to, now the light's coming from this side, but let's just pretend, shall we, that the windows are over on that side. So what I'm doing, what I like to do sometimes is simulate, like, I'm doing a presentation in the morning and this is sunlight coming through my window. So this looks more like a, like a smoggy day in LA, sorry, LA, but like it's sunset, right? But what's cool about this is that I can position it anywhere. So if I don't want it necessarily right on me, okay, I just changed the color here, but let's do this, go back. There we go. And now I can, set my brightness, or if I want it just so subtle. So for doing hair lights and stuff like that, kind of accentuate, like I've got my main hair light up here, but let's say I wanted to add in another just on one side, like I'm doing right now. That's where this would be useful for sure. And even though I can see all the LEDs in here, it's fine because you can't see. The only way you could see it is if I did that, right? So is it that big of a deal? No, not really. Not really. So yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think this has been, pretty straightforward. It's not a light that's ever going to make its way into my camera shots inside the frame. But it is very much a light that I can use to put in some accent lighting. And that might be its purpose. I mean, you're not really supposed to be looking directly at the light. I mean, I guess in some places, it doesn't matter what the light looks like. It just looks. And so if you see me using more of this light, I might end up using it. I don't know. It's just, for me, there's sometimes I get it and I'm like, well, let's go ahead and, we'll put it in to use it for something. But will it be part of my daily use? Remains to be seen. I will say this much. Neewer, please fix your software. And also, you have the ability to make Stream Deck plugins for some of your lights. You should make Stream Deck plugins for all of your lights so we don't have to use a desktop app, or we don't have to use your app, period, on any device. It's built into your if you have a desktop app, great. Then run the desktop app, and then as long as the desktop app is open, you can recall presets and things like that. Man, it would save so much time, because when you think about it, it's not just your command. For instance, if I've got two different ecosystems of lights running in here, I can embed multiple commands within a single button to say turn on lights, and I can say, I've got my sunset scene and I have all my lights placed correctly, but being from different manufacturers, I have to issue commands to each piece of software. And right now it's a huge pain in the butt, because I got to go through, basically, at least right now, two different user interfaces. And if I use my hue bulbs for anything, that's another interface I got to use. So it is a pain. It is a pain. But that's it. I didn't want to rant anything. I'm really appreciative that Neewer sent this to me. And again, they did not ask me to review it or update my reviews. I'll probably update the review that I have on Amazon. And like I said, I will have a link to the light down on the bottom, so you can check it out. I mean, it does, they do sell barn doors for it, which might be useful if you're trying to shape the light, or you're not trying to have the light bleed into one particular area or another. But aside from that, the light itself is it's pretty cheap. Pretty cheap, $60. It's not that bad. And the only thing I've seen on Amazon that I would probably be cautious of is that somebody said that the runtime on the batteries is not anywhere near what's advertised. Now, I think we're all used to that. To be honest, we're all used to that. If you have a concern, if you're going to run this light for a long period of time, 3, 4, 5 hours, either hook it up directly to power or some kind of powered hub, or bring one of those rechargeable, USB battery packs and run it off of there. And that way it's got the internal battery, and once it depletes once it depletes your battery, it'll deplete its internal battery. And then what's cool about that is that you can, if you have another one of those batteries as a backup, you can unplug it, the light will keep running, plug in a new battery, and it's like nothing ever happened. So the light will continue to function. So that's kind of nice. So again, the model is BH-30S is the model number. Let me just confirm that by looking on here. BH-30S. Yes, that's it. So check it out. And again, the folks at Neewer they're really nice people, and they really I want to see them succeed, because they're affordably priced for creators and for people who don't have Hollywood or major production budgets. It's a great way to light your studio. It's a great way to take lights on the road. And they're fairly competitive with their offerings, what kinds of products they have to offer. So go ahead and take a look. And thanks for watching. I don't think I had anybody join in on the live stream. That's okay. I don't mind. But I will go ahead and wrap this one up. And you guys have an awesome remainder of your day. All right. Take care.